Hmm.
There is a severe lack of planes in heaven. You're probably wondering what happened to me. Why do you have to know everything? You're fixated on that day I disappeared over the Pacific. One day. I prefer to focus on my 14,578 days before that. You're so disappointed. Look, after you die, you'll find out all the answers, like who killed JFK? Is the Shroud of Turin real? Or what happened to Amelia Earhart? Something happening to me is not as important as what I did. So why do I feel so dissatisfied? So incomplete? What's missing? Besides me. The gown? Maybe she'll remember and show up. Chin up. I was the world's first woman to fly over the Atlantic all by herself. Well, I didn't fly it in this thing, that's for sure. Give me pants any day.
Amen to that, sister.
You came! Eleanor Roosevelt, First Lady of the World.
Oh, pshaw. I saw need and I responded. What any compassionate human would do.
You'd be surprised.
There is very little that surprises me. Dismays me, definitely. Alarms me, absolutely.
What have you been doing with yourself?
I've been busy coaching.
Ooh.
Stacey Abrams, Malala Yousafzai, Britney Spears.
Britney Spears?
Free Britney. That poor young woman. I'm so glad she has autonomy now.
Nothing more important.
You're feeling down.
How did you know?
There's not much that escapes me.
Sometimes I hate that about you.
Nah, you love me.
You're funny when you're dead.
Right? Who knew? Now, who do we see about getting you a plane?
Ugh, the supply chain shortage.
As above, so below.
Yeah, I was so hoping we could.
It does mark an epoch, doesn't it, when a girl in an evening dress and slippers can pilot a plane at night?
Oh, where did you find this?
It was right there.
Oh, wow.
Shall we?
But it's not. It's just a.
Enough of that. Great minds. Ideas.
Without a plane, though.
God, I love pockets. Your husband sent this to me a year after your disappearance.
Your student pilot license?
I mailed it to you so that you could teach me to fly.
I would have loved to have been your teacher.
So, teach. We're dressed for it. Let's recreate that night.
It's not real.
It's all an illusion. What does it matter? Come on, it's fun.
A shame Franklin wouldn't let you become a real pilot.
Husbands. So?
Why not?
April 1933.
Amelia and her husband George attend a formal dinner at the White House.
My brother stands in for an absent President Roosevelt.
The president of Eastern Airlines sits right there. A new airline.
How's your crab chowder?
Amazing. I can't believe I'm dining at the White House. That I'm your friend.
Believe it.
But I have nothing to contribute.
No false modesty. You earned your seat at the table.
Then, Eleanor, I've got an idea.
A great one.
A great one. How about right now we take a quick flight to Baltimore and back?
In the middle of a White House dinner.
My seat at the table is the sky.
It's never been done.
We're hardly one to couch out to convention.
Would be a fine lark.
Easton has a plane we can use.
Hoover Airfield is close by.
What do you say?
It would be a waste of a dinner guest. And you know I despise waste.
Secret Service are looking nervous. Women like to do such things and can.
Back before dessert?
Back before dessert.
It's my favorite.
Clouds on angel food cake.
Strawberries are perfection.
Anything with clowns in the name? Perfection.
This will be a night to remember.
So, joyride?
Joyride.
Twin engine aircraft, thank you, Eastern.
Secret Service are having a conniption. Not the first time. Or the last.
Decide whether or not the goal is worth the risks involved. If it is, stop worrying.
Look! The White House!
The clouds? The stars?
It's like church.
Feeling big, but small.
Perspective.
Peace.
I wish every woman could experience this.
Hey, every woman, want to take a turn?
I promised Franklin.
The thing you think you cannot do.
Are you quoting me?
The best way to do it is to do it.
I'm flying the plane!
Flying the plane!
Huh? Best dinner guest ever!
Did I earn a second helping of dessert?
Are you kidding? I'm sending the chef home with you.
Home. I know it's not real, but it feels real. I see the night sky, the lights, and I feel like anything is possible.
What does my friend Ram Dass say? Be here now.
Be here now.
That's all there is.
Yes.
Perhaps it's the feeling you get from flying you miss, more than the mechanics of it.
You are one smart cookie.
Chocolate chip?
Maybe I could coach, like you.
Yes! The women of the world need your courage, your determination.
Where?
For starters, Texas. Do one thing every day that scares you.
We needed that dessert to go. Secret Service, you're gonna love this.
Ready?
Ready?
Coming to you live from Rome for FO10 News, this is Terrence Muckus.
And I'm Claudia Platina. We'll be back in a few moments to bring you gavel-to-gavel Senate coverage following a brief infomercial from the makers of Vesuvius, the hot sauce of the gods.
And we're out. Camericus, I can tell by the way you're clutching your toga that you need to use the latrine. We'll be back in 10.
As if the populace will miss anything. The noble Julius Caesar addressing the Senate to honor them for the latest honors they've showered upon him. Once the noble Caesar finally gets here, Terrence, any word on what's causing this delay?
The scroll received from my sources inside the palace indicates... Interesting.
Anything newsworthy?
Nothing major, my dear, but very sweet. It appears First Lady Calpurnia woke this morning from a terrifying nightmare, and our Julius was delayed leaving the palace because he took a few precious minutes of his inestimably valuable time to calm and comfort the little woman. Sometimes we forget what an all-around nice guy the great Julius Caesar happens to be.
Yes, the most powerful man in the known world is more than a ruthless killing machine. Does the scroll mention what the nightmare was about?
No.
Really, Terrence? Let me see.
That's confidential information.
Because as I understand it, the First Lady's been having dreams about terrible things happening to the big man. Yes, Terrence, I have my sources too.
Well, don't forget about those terrible storms the last few nights.
Oh, all that hail. It knocked the arms off the Venus statue in my garden.
You know, it's a slow news day when we're talking about last night's weather and the First Lady's dreams.
What do you expect on the Ides of March?
Yeah, you know how it is with women in dreams.
Yes, Terrence, I do, in fact, happen to be a woman with dreams of my own.
Use that to your benefit, my dear. I could line you up with an exclusive interview with Calpurnia.
Another women's interest story.
Our Senate speeches, women interest stories.
Senate speeches aren't anyone's interest, not women's, men's, eunuchs. Nobody cares, not even other senators. The first speech that I ever covered was when Caesar introduced his new calendar and then went on all afternoon addressing leap years.
Julius says his calendar reform is his greatest achievement. In 2,000 years, when nobody remembers his victory at the Battle of Alasia, people will still be using that calendar.
Well, then let the Senate name a month after him, give us a holiday, and be done with it then. Just don't let us sit through endless speeches about it.
My dear Claudia, I admire your ambition. Nobody's going to kill you for being ambitious, but a news career wasn't built in a day.
I've been doing this for 5 years.
I've been doing this for almost 50, but look how far you've come. 5 years ago, you were reporting on the level of sewage flow through the Coleca Maxima, and now you and I have been covering history-making moments featuring the great Julius Caesar.
Oh, yes. So many historic moments. Julius Caesar dedicates a public bathhouse, and we're there. Julius Caesar invites a pack of Wolf Scouts to his private box at the Circus Maximus. All hail the mighty Julius Caesar, who orders anchovies and cheese and croutons with his salad. We might as well be Julius C-SPAN.
I hear you. These grand openings and Senate speeches. Sometimes it does feel as if the network has put me out the pasture.
Oh, you've had a grand career.
I still haven't gotten over the thoroughbleed coast to where the power is.
Personally, I'd rather be where the action is.
Covering breaking action from the battlefield is seriously overrated. The travel, the accommodations, the food,
Ugh.
not the best.
Well, I wouldn't have become a journalist if I cared about a cushy lifestyle.
Of course not, and neither would I. But then there's the question of the not too pleasant sight of blood.
Well, women bleed every month.
Let's not talk about that, Claudia, my dear. The sad fact is, Rome just isn't ready for a woman war correspondent.
We build temples to warrior goddesses. Okay, in Britain, they have warrior queens.
Julius says the British are a bunch of barbarians.
Julius says. As if you were on a first name basis.
I've interviewed the man.
You've been in this business long enough to interview Romulus and Remus.
But I've interviewed with Julius Caesar to be his ghostwriter for the history of the Gallic Wars. Imagine me, Great Caesar's ghostwriter. I've been there covering his conquests. Trust me, my dear, being a war correspondent is... Did you hear a trumpet or something?
Oh, maybe your friend Julius is finally showing up to work.
Where's that Camericus gotten to? The network will be cutting back to us any minute with live coverage of Caesar's address to the Senate.
Oh, they can always run more infomercials. You said it yourself. It's a slow news day.
Back in my days, the triumvirate is to get all the top stories, and now every day is a slow news day.
Yep. Tell me about it.
I was there when Caesar crossed the Rubicon. I covered his Egyptian campaign and reported live from the siege of Alexandria. When I interviewed Cleopatra about our new military alliance, it was more than just your so-called women's interest story.
Well, I interviewed her too when she visited Rome a couple of years ago, but the big guys at the network told me that I should focus on the Queen of the Nile's fashion sense.
That was a good piece. The populace love that sort of thing. And now you're covering the Senate.
Oh, I'm so ready for more. What do you think is taking so long?
You'd think a few senators would have entered the chamber by now.
Let me find out what's happening. Oh, here comes Camericus with mud on his toga and his equipment, and just in time, your friend Julius is finally coming up the steps with a whole crowd of senators. Looks like Senator Simber has a petition and JC isn't buying. Oh my God. Camericus, get the mobile unit and start recording frontal. Oh my God. Oh my God. They're killing him.
Who want to hurt Camericus?
Camericus is fine, but Caesar sure isn't.
What's happening?
They stabbed him.
Are you saying there's some sort of conspiracy?
Well, it sure wasn't a lone dagger. Cassius and Cascus and about half the Senate just plunged knives out of their togas and plunged them right into poor old Julius. Marcus Brutus is all covered with blood.
They stabbed Brutus too?
No. He's one of the perps.
Him too? But Brutus is like a son to Caesar.
Maybe it's a family thing. I don't know. But he looks like he's one of the leaders.
Where are the Praetorian Guard?
Nowhere to be seen. Caesar's lying there like as dead as the river Styx. Looks like Marcus Brutus is about to make a statement. Come on, Terrence. We have got to get up close and personal.
Go ahead, Claudia, but I better stay here at this desk. The citizens of Rome would need my calming presence during this crisis.
But this is the biggest news story ever, and it's happening right on our watch.
I know. It's just I couldn't go on being a war correspondent because I was so disturbed by the sight of blood.
Ugh, then I'll handle this.
Be careful.
And it looks like we're going live.
Coming to you from the Senate chamber in Rome with live coverage of this breaking story. This is Terrence Milkus for FO10 News. Claudia, what have you learned so far?
Yes.
What have you learned so far about today's unfolding tragedy?
Claudia Platini here, just outside the Senate, where I witnessed Julius Caesar publicly assassinated by a group of well-respected senators.
Died of March, a day that will live in infamy.
Senator Brutus, it's been reported that Julius Caesar called out to you with his last dying words. What can you tell our viewers? What led you and your colleagues to take this drastic step?
General Caesar was my friend.
Claudia Platini here, speaking with General Marcus Antonius. As one of the late leader's closest friends, what can you tell us about what today's tragic events means for the future of the Roman Republic?
Julius was a genial host, and I accompanied him on his Gallic and Egyptian campaigns.
Claudia Platini here for FO10 News, covering the rioting at the Capitol.
But on a less somber note, let me congratulate my friend and colleague, Claudia Platini, for becoming the first female military war correspondent in all of Roman broadcasting. This truly is a historic day, And we'll be back after these brief messages aboard Claudia's live coverage of today's traumatic events.
This is Claudia Platini here in an encampment just outside the gates of Rome.
This is Terrace Muckus for FO10 News. And we're out.
And we're out.
Hey.
Mom? What? Who are you?
You should know. You're writing a paper about me.
Elizabeth Bathory?
Bingo.
But you're dead. How did you know about my paper?
Oh, even the dead have Twitter.
You speak English?
No, I'm using Google Translate. This way we can confer in your language, your dialect, your modern day vernacular. Dude, this is what you've written so far? Elizabeth Bathory, aka the Blood Countess, tortured and murdered over 600 girls? Oh, bust Meg! This czar again? Cite your sources.
Sources?
Reputable biographies, expert historians, authenticated archives.
Wikipedia?
Let me guess. Public school? This Blood Countess business is bull. Sadly, history belongs to the victors, and those Megladas did a bang-up job destroying me. But you can set the record straight.
It's just a 5-page paper.
Tell my truth.
It's like only 2% of my grade.
Redeem my name.
I just needed to pass European history. It's not like I'm actually gonna be a historian or a European.
Don't you want to fight the misogynistic patriarchy?
No. I mean, I don't know what that is exactly, but probably no.
I see. And what is it that you do want to do?
Be a singer-songwriter, like Taylor Swift.
You know who I meet for lunch every Wednesday? Billie Holiday, Janis Joplin, and Cher?
But Cher's not dead.
Really? Huh. Well, she said you all were fooled by that plastic robot, but I thought she was kidding. Well, at any rate, if you think the music business is not a patriarchal, misogynistic institution, you're in for a rude awakening.
Whatever.
Quick, name 3 facts about me.
You killed 600 virgins.
Ridiculous.
You took baths in their blood.
It cannot be done. It would coagulate.
Because you thought it would make you look younger.
Lippy. Did it not occur to you that these horror stories are pure fabrication, devised by my enemies for their personal gain?
No.
Really? Of course. Well, you also thought that Cher was still alive. So.
I read your whole wiki page. And
Lies. You think that men have issues with strong women today? Imagine the 16th century. I had money, prestige. I was the bitch in charge, the alpha of Eastern Europe. I was running that whole Kvatz show until my Siegfried cousin George and King Matthias conspired to take me down.
why?
Why else? Money, influence. I had too much of both, which threatened their chauvinistic institution of male dominance.
But there were witnesses.
They were tortured. The one witness who refused to speak against me, they poked out her eyes and burned her alive. Pretty compelling reason to give false testimony, no?
I guess.
You guess?
I'm really tired.
Tired? Cher told me about you, your generation, millennials, right? You're inherently lazy, spoiled.
Spoiled? Me? I'm still using the iPhone 5. Look, even if I did write your truth or whatever, the only person who's going to see it is Mr. Binjon, and he's like a total alcoholic. And he probably won't even read it, just count the pages. So it's not like it'd make any difference. I mean, I get how you feel.
I highly doubt that.
I do. This bitch Addison, total rich girl, blonde hair, you know. She like lied and told everyone I gave her boyfriend a blowjob at homecoming, and people lost their shit. I was untouchable for weeks. Totally unfair.
You didn't give him
Yeah, I did, but not at homecoming. It was prom. So, I get that you're pissed. But it was like a million years ago.
400?
So maybe get over it already?
Where are your feminist principles? Resist. Is this not the era of Elizabeth Warren, Gloria Steinem, and Andrian Dorquin?
They're Destiny's Child, right? Like before Beyonce.
Oh, educate yourself. Do the research. Do any research. You'll see that none of this so-called evidence even pans out.
I'm so beat.
It's so obvious. If someone would only do the research, I'm the victim here.
Sleep.
Not.
Ow! What the? Oh, not you again. Wait, you had glasses.
Yes, that was Elizabeth the revisionist. Guess she beat me here. She's so type A. I'm Elizabeth the temperate. I hear you're writing a paper.
It's just a bullshit class assignment.
Be that as it may.
Look, you need to bug the wiki people.
We've tried.
They're the ones who said you tortured the girls. Cut them, poke them with needles.
Yes, that's true.
Ha! See?
Acupuncture. A rudimentary form to be sure, but it was the 1500s. Doctors were scarce. Who do you think treated the ill? Educated women such as myself. Those fuzzclops twisted my ad hoc medical treatments into this macabre fiction.
You never beat your servants?
Servants? Oh, of course I beat them. Who else would I keep them in line?
That's messed up.
Well, you can't apply 21st century mores to my time. We all beat our servants. Some died. Oh well. I don't see you shedding any tears over that spider you squashed today.
Are you like stalking me?
Perhaps centuries from now, you'll be marked as a murderess because spiders will have equal rights.
That's stupid. Spiders can't even vote.
That's what I would have said about the servants, especially the Slavs. You see, it's all context. Maybe I was too harsh a taskmaster, but Elizabeth the revisionist, despite her dreary radical feminist rhetoric, is right. A chauvinistic conspiracy robbed me of my power and my life.
Life? You weren't executed.
They walled me up in that Kavut's castle. How long would you have lasted? I just really need you to. And damn, what's going on with your Wi-Fi? You have to, because, and I, please.
Oh!
Oh, sorry. Did I wake you?
Oh my god, it's just a stupid term paper!
I take it Lesbo Liz and Bossy Betty were here. Ooh, selfie. Jesus, you still have the 5? The loser. The other Lizzies are total drags, but they're right, I was screwed over.
It's due tomorrow. I'm not rewriting it.
Well, then don't. I'm Elizabeth the sensationalist. I don't give a crap what you write, as long as it's sensational. Are you a virgin?
No. Duh, I'm 15.
Oh, well, la-dee-da. I was married at 10 and had a baby at 13, which wasn't my husband's. So you're a fucking nun by comparison. You'll do.
Do?
Well, it takes more than sunblock to maintain this creamy complexion.
Wait. You said it was all lies.
True, but the truth is so dull. I was the victim of a sexism. Boring. Like feminism, right? Who cares? Oh.
I care. I do. It's just different now.
Is it? Women are still second class. We're paid less, promoted less, harassed more. We're not in control of anything, even our bodies. But who's got time to deal with that? Not you. Not when there are Instagrams to post and Kardashians to watch and fake tits to buy.
I don't have fake.
Oh, yeah. You couldn't bother to research my life, but your search history shows an exhaustive study of gel versus silicone implants.
I'm sorry.
Too late.
Please.
Oh, well, okay. How many feminists does it take to change a light bulb?
1? No, 2. No, wait.
Trick question. Thanks to losers like you, feminists can't change anything. Oh. Gosh. Oh, no. Here we go. Yes. That's better. Much better. Turns out blood really does have restorative properties. Go figure. And so much blood. I really should share it with my vampire kin, my fellow worshippers at the Bloody Fountain of Youth. My preternaturally youthful sisters of the undead. Let's see. Hello? Cher? Yeah.
The skies shouldn't be red like that.
Like amber or like fruit filling the sky. The most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Stop painting and actually look.
Red like passion.
Skies can't feel passion.
You and I can feel passion.
I think I'd leave you if we weren't going to die.
This is the best thing I've ever created.
What good will it do when you're dead?
This is the kind of art that keeps an artist alive forever.
The sky's even redder now,
Like a ruby.
like running blood.
It's beautiful. Everything under the sky is beautiful.
We should have hidden underground with everyone else.
No one should live that far beneath the sky.
But what if they're the only ones who get to live at all?
How is it living if you only feel stale air? You forget the color of all of Earth's creations. Taking heart isn't nearly enough.
The world is more than its colors.
Look at my painting. The sky is as blue as the quiet sea. The plants are emeralds. Our home is warm as a hearth, and you and I are red like passion.
Are those eggs?
White as the sand.
You know I don't want any eggs.
You'll change your mind.
You'll die before I prove you wrong.
I'd rather die beneath the sun, and you'd rather follow than be alone.
I'm not proud of that.
The whole time you've been following me, it's been beautiful. You're my sculpture, and all my art is you.
And yet you're blind to the things that aren't bright enough.
And who wouldn't want to be? Wouldn't you rather die in love? Come, be with me. I'd like passion. I've never seen the world so bright.
Was that what we were supposed to die in?
That must have made all the underground tunnels collapse.
All the bright colors are gone.
We're alive, Rio. What if we're the only ones alive?
I think I need to leave you.
It's been more important to stay together.
True.
We can repopulate the earth.
You haven't been listening.
Look out there on the valley.
I can't see through all this smoke.
There's still emeralds. See the specks of green? The ferns aren't all gone, and soon there will be more.
Stop.
There's still beauty. Someday, everything on this earth will have grown from those ferns. Everything that is beautiful can trace back its lineage, and you and I can watch the birth of this new world we can carry to term.
I don't care if we die out. And I don't care if there's nothing left. I'm tired of listening to you pretend you're listening to me. I'm tired of being the canvas on which you scribble selfish dreams.
Rio, the sun rests on our shoulders and rises from within us. We can be the mother and father, everything.
And if not?
The tree dies. The roots shrivel up and everything that ever lived on its branches suffocates.
I think I'd prefer that. Being with you has never made me less alone.
We could be so beautiful.
I'd rather die out.
You do not know me,
You most certainly know me.
but perhaps have heard of me,
The entire globe knows me.
or my children.
And my novels.
I have 9 children.
Nicholas Nickleby, Oliver Twist,
They do not live with me.
Hard Times, Bleak House,
Or they do not live with me anymore.
and my newest, Great Expectations.
9 bodies diagnosed. Oh,
Stories. It is how I earn my living.
9 human beings I tended in illness.
I must work. I have 9 children.
9 pairs of arms to hug, and 9 happy smiles.
9 bodies to feed and clothe,
He kept the house
educate, socialize.
and moved me to this one.
A legal requirement. Children belong with their fathers.
Dust floated in a strange smell.
For the record, I did not request 9 of them.
Rented and pre-furnished.
Do you realize what it costs to feed them all? Good God.
I was long used to being alone.
The price of their gowns and suits, and they keep growing.
But back then, alone meant women's things. Afternoon teas, music had.
I am certain the children prefer it this way.
While he passed whole afternoons alone in his study. The children and I did not mind, of course. Works of genius, everyone said.
We have visitors.
One day a package arrived.
Ellen, Miss Turner visits often.
Until that day, I sang while I served.
I call her Nellie.
And it was a bracelet. Not meant for me.
It was never quite right, our marriage.
Now alone means separated. That is what he calls us.
She, Kate, was never right for me.
Which also means separated from all of one's friends who were his friends. As everything else was.
Anyone could see.
What I've always disliked about his novels.
I will not betray her, but let us say there were serious concerns about Kate's, wellness.
Are his arrogance.
What could I do?
Shallow. Not very intelligent.
What light she has brought in my life. I mean Nellie.
And always beautiful.
Have I mentioned she's an actress?
Their whole being wrapped around a man.
I am rather good at theatricals myself.
As mine was.
We have theatrical parties at home,
He kept the house
attended by London's most important men.
and moved me to this one.
They adore her. Nellie, of course.
It was not a small house, and now with many empty rooms.
The children adore her too.
Sometimes I wander into them and listen to the sound of my own voice.
As for Kate, well,
These are the walls that separate me from everything once part of my life.
she signed the document. Nobody forced her.
And occasionally, I study the law.
I thought it best to have my attorney present.
Artificial blossoms, shepherds with their lambs,
A marriage separation ought to be legal.
and at night I dream of our wedding.
Kate understood.
My bouquet,
Kate understood what was required of her.
posy of roses and myrtle,
The children understood too, I'm certain of it.
and white silk and taffeta,
We do not prevent them from seeing her. Good grief.
symbolizing innocence and faithfulness.
She is their mother.
So we went. He kissed me.
We do not prevent them, but we don't encourage it either.
As I held my flowers,
Kate agreed, naturally.
veil lifted eyes upon him.
A mother wants what's best for her children.
The maidens gathered right there, wanting to catch them.
You must meet Nellie.
The blossoms meaning purity and constancy and love.
I do not see much of Kate these days, so how could I?
They stood there with outstretched hands
At home, we do not speak of it.
for the flowers, meaning innocence and faithfulness and hope.
We do not speak of it anymore.
He kissed me. I threw away my bouquet. Like this.
I love an automat. All the objects laid out in front of you. No perception, no artifice. What you see is exactly what you get. Oh. Even the bananas. Choose the one that has character if that's your style. Or the one that looks the yellowest. It makes you realize that perfection is incredibly subjective. You can't be disappointed if you pick the one that overripes and it disintegrates right there in the peel. I don't even like bananas. I just like choosing.
I understand completely.
Have you ever thought about that at all? How automats are great equalizer? All you need is a nickel and you can buy yourself some agency in the world. What other places like that? I hope they don't go out of style. I like to take my time selecting a sandwich.
I've always been fascinated by sliced cake in an automat.
Why is that?
Oh, these shiny, perfect slices of cake going around and around, sometimes in different machines. One purchased in the morning, one in the afternoon, one at 11 p.m. on a goddamn freezing evening after a disaster. But they were all cut from one cake. I liked it the way they gained their own identities, their own stories. I'm choosing the sad-looking one. Maybe it's silly, but I always think...
Wonder if it feels special for a moment. The one that's chosen.
Yes. Going around and around that machine day and night. What are the odds that your window's the one that opens? Like puppies in the pound.
Well, maybe it's just the opposite. Oh, what if they're thinking, I'll be the last life standing. I'll be the one that survives. Oh. May I join you?
Please. I didn't expect to spend the evening alone.
Oh, and neither did I. Somehow I knew I'd feel less alone here with the transients and the pound puppies and the brown bananas. That's what this place is for.
I had a disaster of a date earlier this evening. An actor.
Oh, that would do it.
I mean, I'm an actor myself, but if I ever get that cocky.
So, what was the nature of the disaster, if you don't mind my asking?
Actually, just dull conversation, but insufferably dull. Imagine an actor, straight out of school, thinking he knows the heart of the playwright, explaining Oedipus and the Orestia, incorrectly, might I add, but only when he wasn't talking about the roles he's playing himself. I played a foot soldier, but it wasn't about the lines. It was about what I did with the role. I developed a terrible headache, you see. I couldn't bear going straight home.
I had such headaches myself. To avoid them, you might try dating outside of the theater.
Oh, a Guiman artist as well. A painter. I feel more at home in that world, where the paintings speak for themselves. There might be a sensitive soul out there for me yet.
Perhaps. Well, are you any good?
I know I just said I don't want to seem cocky, but I wouldn't call myself an artist if I wasn't. I've exhibited all over the city. I've actually shared gallery space with Pablo Picasso.
Ah, a successful woman, the most dangerous creature on earth.
Oh yes, I'm extremely intimidating to men. That's why I never turned down a date with an actor. They're the only men who don't seem to notice.
You know, I was an actress once.
Truly?
And a painter as well, and a teacher. I was all sorts of things.
But not any longer?
Of all the many things I once was, I was lonely most of all, going around and around in the machine.
Oh, I hope you didn't try dating actors.
I married an artist. Not much better than an actor, let me tell you. But by the time we met, I waited so long for my window to open. He didn't want to be picky, neither did I.
I like a certain amount of willingness. I think I wouldn't give in so easily.
I'm sure you like to think that.
Excuse me?
I once thought the same.
Well, I'm committed to my solitude for professional reasons. Lonely people have more hours in the day. Genius takes time, and I'm so close.
You exhibited near Picasso. I say you made it.
Oh no, I've made it when I can stop telling people I've exhibited near Picasso, and Picasso begins telling people he's exhibited near me. I give it 2 years.
But if you peeked, I'm sure you
I haven't. hardly begun.
But what if you could accept it if you have? If the best, you could say that your work is hung alongside a work of a master?
I'm still young. I've worked too hard. I can't think that way.
Good. Don't stop. Don't ever stop, and sign all of it.
Do you still paint?
I do, but I'm elevated in a way. I'm a muse now.
Whose?
My husband's. He directs to stand me under various lamps, sketches studies by the light. It sounds romantic until he takes you to the theater and spends the whole picture sketching drapery in the dark.
And what's his work about?
The idealization of the lonely, sad, isolated woman in ordinary environments. Very theatrical. He's fascinated by architecture, by light. They say that when a spectator views his work, they feel less alone themselves.
There's something appealing in that, in being that for someone else.
I thought you'd think so. I thought so too. I'm the model of every single woman he paints.
He'll live forever that way, assuming he has any success. Good Muse is immortal.
Oh, his paintings sell the minute they're dry.
You must be ecstatic.
I'm glad one of us is successful.
And what about yours?
Mine?
Your work. You must paint day and night in that sort of environment.
I paint. Well, he's the painter. I gave up that title when I became his wife. He's a very jealous man. Brilliant, but jealous.
And by jealous, you mean competitive?
I mean jealous. It's nonsense. Our work is nothing alike.
And what's your work about?
My life. I'm not afraid to be feminine on canvas. I thought it might make the spectators feel less alone too. Imagine an artist's wife in a gallery. If she knows nothing of art, she knows what to think of a bouquet of flowers. Something familiar rendered beautifully. It's a way of saying I see you too.
I don't see why you should compete at all. You both seem so skilled, interested in different things.
Oh, he likes to compete, and I can't complain. I do my best work when he's blocked, but the second he sees I'm working, he has to work better, faster. If my work gets hung onto a gallery wall, it's because his work is hanging there too. There's no way to know if the work is any good. He tells me nobody likes it.
Do they?
He doesn't like it.
That must be...
It's very isolating. I'm a good muse.
Would you like to share a slice of cake? Be part of someone else's story for a moment? Something just for us.
I love that.
It'll be my treat.
Don't rush, Joe. Take your time. Choose the right one, not the first one.
Did I tell you my name?
Did you?
You haven't told me yours.
Miss Hopper.
And your husband is Mr. Hopper?
Mr. Edward Hopper, yes, Ed.
And you say he's successful, but I haven't heard the name.
How old are you? You can't even be 30 yet. You wouldn't have.
I'm part of the art world. What does my age have to...
We met Edward much later in life. He does not become a household name until after our show at the Brooklyn Museum, because you put a good word with him with the curator. He sells his first painting in 10 years. One more painting and then we'll sell at the show. And one more is enough.
What are you saying?
Every woman in Ed's paintings, older, younger, nude, or clothed, is me. He directs me. He tells me exactly what I need to do to be, so that his work can make other women feel less alone. Dozens of paintings of me. Joe Nevison Hopper.
Joe Nevison? My name is Joe Nevison.
Yes.
So you are...
The most famous woman no one's ever heard of.
So are you telling me I'll never be famous in my own right?
I don't know. What is fame?
My work once hung near Picasso's.
You're lucky if it hangs at all. You've already done the best work of your career and you don't even know it. This is the most fulfillment you ever be. Enjoy it. You have the rest of eternity to be lonely and only a few more years to be free.
Why? Why do you let him tell us who to be?
He tells me I help women feel less alone. And if that's all I can do, I suppose it's legacy enough.
Wow, it's late. I should be going. This was, well. But thank you, Joe, for the company.
There's no shame in spending an eternity in an automat. Suspended in your success in a place where you take your time choosing and never be wrong.